Hamilton County voters will soon decide if they want to pay a higher sales tax to fix Cincinnati's Metro bus system. The local Transportation Authority Board moved forward with the sales tax levy in a meeting that wrapped up just a few hours ago. Tonight's vote was 12-1, a victory for public transit advocates who say they've been working toward this day for 3 years. Folks we spoke with tonight feel public opinion is shifting toward more public transit as more people choose to opt out of driving.
We weren't having discussions, we didn't have a broad coalition, and so it takes a little time to get there. But I think we've reached that point where so many people are in support in such leadership roles that I'm confident that it will pass this time.
Back from tonight's meeting and joining us now is Pat LaFleur to help us break all of this down. So the big question is, what comes next, Pat?
Sure. So the next thing we need to see is coming up in about a month or so, we'll start to see some ballot language, what voters will actually see when they're looking at their ballots, either in March or November of next year. So that's kind of the next step now that the SORTA board has decided to go forward with this 0.8% increase. Now we need to see what the language on the ballot will actually say.
Backers of an increase, what are they saying woefully needs to happen with regional bus service?
Sure. So over the last 5 years, Metro has measured about a 3 million ride reduction since they've started to have to cut services in certain parts of their system. So frequent ridership, having schedules that expand longer in the hours of the day, reaching different destinations. So really just expanding the service that's happening right now so it can reach more people and more jobs is the idea.
Speaking of that, is this something that has to happen if we want to be a city and a region that expects people to ditch their cars for public transit?
Right. Well, so the argument is that there are between 50 and 75,000 jobs that currently are not accessible by Cincinnati Metro bus service. So the hope is that by adding new routes, adding longer hours, that will allow more people the option to, like you said, ditch their keys and choose to ride the bus instead.
If you had a crystal ball, what would you say the outcome of this is going to be?
Well, in as many decades, the Hamilton County voters have rejected this time and again over the last 40 years. A lot of advocates now are saying this time is different. So
why is it different this time?
So the city and the county really pulled out all the stops as far as finding a way to package this so that leaders across the board could get their support behind it. And that included including projects like road improvements, bridge improvements, as well as the public transit funding piece. So they're hoping that road repair or bridge repair projects might help kind of convince some who are a little more skeptical.
All right, I know that you're going to keep your eye on this situation. Pat LaFleur, thank you for your expert input on this.
Thank you for having me.